So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Because this temple thing keeps coming up, I'm like, okay, I know there's got to be more to it than, okay, the body or like what we call a church, which is actually a temple, or you can consider a room in your home a temple, where it's like a holy sacred space where you do your praying and yoga or whatnot. But so just now it all kind of clicked. My brain's been kind of doing it all together and trying to figure out what it's all about as far as this temple thing goes. I'll make it a little bit green there. And so I was getting like templating, this little frame shot in a dream that I had kept coming back. So these implants into our DNA, into our our neuropathways, whatever you want to call it. So through all kinds of genetic manipulation and then just contemporary society nowadays with the media. Okay, the whole reason why media was started in the first place in newspapers, to research it all the way back to the first newspaper and the yellow press and all. Okay, what it was all for propaganda. So all these ways to control you, manipulate you, dominate you. Okay. So there's a group of, I say, like agents for the light or spies for the light, like you can call them earth angels, 144,000. It's just semantics, but it's this group of people, okay, from the gods that have volunteered to come down and live as men, just like Jesus did. Okay, now what we're doing, okay, just exactly as what he did, and many people before him and after him, and right now. Okay, because I'm like, well, I know it's like templating all this, okay, because I'm the New Age stuff with the Christianity, with the galactic, I'm trying to put it all together. And so, I just saw my hands like in there. Hello. So, yeah, I just have the camera covered a little bit with a little piece of cardboard, and it just happens to have like some green on it and yellow, so it looks like that. So, anyway. Which is pretty, and I like it, so I slide it over just a little bit so the camera can see just a little bit, so you can see the green. Anyway, yes, we love colors. Oh yes, colors and sacred tones and all this. We can't wait to get back to it. So anyway, back to the templating. Okay, the temple, the body, the templating. So we volunteered lifetime after lifetime to come down. This is why we have memories of living in all these different places, and all the way back to Atlantis, Lemuria, right? So, and you'll dream about all these places. You'll have resonance with. I can't go into all that, okay? But we had to, and this makes so much sense, okay? Because I'm like, I just want to make sense of it all, right? We had to come into human form in order to change the templating back to its original, what I called factory standard issue God code blueprint. Okay, so in order to do that, we had to remove all these implants from programming, genetic stuff. Okay, so all this stuff that I'm going through, okay, it seems like we have an autoimmune disease, or that bugs are coming out of our skin and all this stuff. And it's that too with the Morgellons, but I think that's separate. I think that's just the fungus thing and the itchy thing, and it's nanoparticles, so it can get into every organ and stuff. But I'm not sure if that's necessarily related to like the bugs and all the different things coming out. What's happening is like all our junk DNA is coming out. All our like God code DNA is being activated. We're purging out all the like the serpent seed DNA, the draconian, all the stuff that wants to engage in polarity. See, as we find our center and our balance through healing, through love, forgiveness, all these things, that Jesus, okay, that's why he's the way. Because as we do that, we come into center balance. Okay, that's how we heal. By coming into that center balance and no longer engaging in the polarity. That's the thing that gets us out of balance, all the way left or right, okay? Left or right, that's the imbalance. We want to be centered. So like that fork, that Y, that Ya, it's like a funnel. It's like you're taking the masculine and feminine energies of God and you're grounding them into one center core alignment, okay? So if you're doing it out of balance, you're going to be too much in your feminine energy or too much in your masculine energy, because you're not going to be, you know, just imagine like hang gliding or parachuting or what, okay, you have to have just like a bird or whatever, this balance. You have to be in your center balance, your core, which is your heart. So as you activate these higher levels of consciousness, forgiveness, patience, all these things, okay, working on your anger through, okay, these, what New Age would call purging and ascension symptoms, and, you know, Christianity would call being born again, and so on and so forth. Okay, so as we purify, we come more into center alignment with God, and as we shed the polarity, we're shedding the templating, okay, of duality that we've been infected with, the human race, okay? So we've volunteered as angels, okay? We are of the Elohim. We've come down here and volunteered to help. But we have chosen, and this is what I've been downloaded, this is what I've been told. We chose to come into human form and be susceptible to all the illness, betrayal, all the things that humans go through, okay? Because as we go through these trials, what we're doing is we're building up the templating, okay, the templates, or you could say the computer program, okay, and inserting that into the Akashic record, into the, whatever you want to call it, okay, the Akash is just the ether of everything that is, okay. So as we put higher and higher vibrational stuff in there from the center, that's directly, okay, we're anchoring more and more of God's light, truth, love. We shed these polarities, so we're basically like removing these implants, okay? And it's not, another thing is, it's a low vibration isn't necessarily bad, okay? And there's high vibration. So if you think of the tree of life, every sephira, it has a light, and so it's like splendor and bliss and all these great things, but there's dark aspects to all of it too. So there's like these infections, these demonics instead of harmonics, okay? So it's not about high or low vibration being good or bad. It's about oneness or polarity. So oneness is balance and center, and polarity is going left, right all the time, okay? So the only way to build these templates and for the human body and remove these implants from the human body, the subconscious, all the, okay, is to do the work through the human body. Because we create, energetically, we create that energy field. We build that template. That computer program is now accessible. Everyone can access that now because we built it. You can call it the crystalline grid. You can, but this is how I was receiving it. It was just kind of like a computer program. As we come into center, we shed all the distortions of polarity, but but we have to do it through the human body in order to have it available for humans, if you can understand what I'm saying. Because it has to resonate with the human body, so we have to do it through the human body for it to be available for them, so it's at a frequency that is usable by the human body, okay? So this is why many of us have had horrible just abuse, sexual abuse, every kind of abuse, every kind of God, you name it. I mean, I've probably experienced it, and same with, if this resonates with you, then it's speaking to you. But so that's how I'm making sense of the temple and the templating stuff and the implanting programs being implanted. Okay. And I'm going to get deep into some stuff later, but I got to head out to the grocery store and I want to get a bunch of shopping done today and then tomorrow, and then just like hunker down for the evening, I'm just going to like kick back in the back of the house, have all the lights off out front. Anyway, I don't do Halloween or anything special except for every day celebrate life, but yeah, I live kind of on a busy little corner. So it's last year, little kid almost got hit, and they were with their parents too, and they dashed across the street, and it's like, it was just getting dark, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be the last year I do Halloween, probably, and then I just decided, for just my beliefs of letting go of beliefs, really shedding beliefs, the more and more you shed and get into center, the less and less and less, and it's hard to do that. So belief systems shedding those are part of healing and getting to center too. So it's not just like, not watching porn or, getting drunk or doing these things that we look at as obvious sin. It's also shedding belief systems that polarize you. Okay, because sin is in the separation. When we take ourselves out of center, we polarize. Okay, now we become oppositional. This is the oppositional conditioning that we've been programmed. Okay, so anyway, now I hope that made sense. If you can understand, the human body has to be the tool that we use to build the templates in order for it to be available for other human bodies, okay? So people have considered themselves, they've had contact, or they're prophets, or there's different labels for us, okay? Earth angel, okay, whatever, psychics, there's different labels, and we all have different jobs, and everyone has, we're all just trying to help the human race. We're trying to help God's children. So we had to come as in the vessel, okay, of God's children. But as you can see, we've been protected. We're here, and a lot of people in our lives are gone, and just because for whatever reason, well, I was going to say it's a great time to be alive and experience all this, but whenever I think that, it's like my mind always goes to, but remember, you've come back every time. So we've been doing this, I think, to keep the human spirit alive, so it doesn't go dormant, so they don't forget God and where they came from. And so we've come back lifetime after lifetime and remembered, okay, and we've awakened every lifetime. And experienced different things because of that. Been burned at the stake and been locked up in mental hospitals, and all through every time we come back, probably some, and then we're building templates for that too, to heal all of that. It's a lot of shedding things that are attached to fear, and shedding attachments, which a belief system is an attachment. Okay, we're almost 15 minutes. Don't want to make this too long. So I'll just mention quickly the little vignette of the dream. And this was a while ago, but I don't think I mentioned it because I was still trying to, because I was like, yeah, man on top. Like, yeah, I know it's YabYum, so I don't really understand what they were trying to tell me in the dream. But I get it. I got that it was programming, but I'm like, but I understand that too. So what? There was more. It was same with the temple. I'm like, okay, I understand its body is, but if you keep giving it to me, then I know there's more I need to explore there. So that was the thing with the temple and templating, and if you think late latter, so after the the temple, then you get the template. So it has to be transmuted through the body first, okay, the human body, to get the template for humans to access. So temple first, then later after it transmutes through the temple, you get the template for it. Now you have the hard drive, the computer program, the die cut that you can trace out for yourself and apply. Okay, now it's accessible, it's in the Akash, and people can use these to attune to their center where God is, okay, where they're more and more perfect reflection of God, which is their true higher self. Which I was playing around with the ma'at, okay, because ma'at with the 2, the 1, okay, that ya, that y, okay, all the stuff I was talking about there in the previous video where I went more into it. So I was, because the Libra scales and that with the ya, and I was like yacht, that just came to me, but I was saying like ma'at and then turning it backwards, so I said at ma, and I'm like, I know that sounds like something. And then of course, yeah, so I Google. Yes, I Google. That's a line from a movie. If you have seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about, but it's not like anything special, it's just whatever. So Atma is the breath, it's the higher self, okay, it's your spirit, okay, it's that reflection of God that you are. Now, so Atma and Ma'at, okay, she weighs your heart can't have any attachments or it's going to be heavy. It's not about sin, it's about attachments. Because you come from the womb perfect with no attachments. So you have to leave the world with no attachments. If you have attachments, well then I guess you want to stay here. That's why your heart gets weighed, to see if you have any attachments, if it's heavier than when it came in. It's not about sin, it's about attachment. And doesn't sin have to do with attachment? Because attachment is polarized. Sin is in the separation. Sin in Spanish means without. Sin, okay, S-I-N, seen, without. Okay, it's also sine wave, the serpent. Anyway, we can't go into all the whole. Okay, so the dream. Excuse me. So it was just a flash, okay, like in a classroom again. And I'm like right in the front row, so I get like perfect, just like I always was in school. I'm like, I want to be nearest the door just in case of fire, and I don't want to have to like, I didn't hear you, and keep raising my hand. So sometimes it depend. Sometimes I'd be moody. I don't know, like if you could sit in the back of the class, or sometimes you had arranged seating. But yeah, I was usually right up there front, so I could see the board well and hear well, and be near the door. Get out of there quick, and not, yeah. Maybe it's a feng shui thing, I don't know. So I'm looking, so in the dream, this is just a quick flash vignette, just a frame, like it lasted 2 seconds, literally. I'm sitting there, the room's a little dim, because it's like when they turn a film on in class, when you're going to watch a movie in class, and they turn the lights off or lower the lights. It was really dim in there. And I could tell I was in like a little classroom, but like a semicircle, how it's usually a semicircle, and a couple like steps up, like flats or plateaus, you know, it'd be like a little step and then flat, a little step and then flat, but just really small and shallow, so just like a few rows of seats. It was a very small little class. Or it was like a special class, okay? sometimes we're in like big rooms, but this was a small little class and very focused and honed in on a very specific thing. It felt like, because of the like privacy of it, the smallness of the, okay, there wasn't very many. I didn't feel like there was many other people even in there, but definitely it was a classroom, and it was something my team and God was guiding me to see. And like I said before, I knew about the YabYum through the Vajrayana. It's esoteric Buddhism and things God was showing me there, and how YabYum is the man in the, it's a, yes, it's a sexual position. It's the sacred sexual position. It's called YabYum, and this is how the gods or the deities make love, okay? They become a tuning fork and anchor God's energy through their love making. They're facing each other, and she's on top of him. So, you know, that's just that basic position, okay? And by doing that with the chakra alignment and what happens there, okay? So in this dream, that's why I wasn't understanding. I'm like, I already know about the YabYum. What are you trying to do? Okay, so, but God, line upon line, precept upon precept, the flower blossoms, right? Not all the petals. Okay, so I'm looking, and it's like the drapes open up or whatever. It's like all this glass around, kind of like if you were observing a surgery or someone being put to death through the death penalty or something. It was like that kind of, just an intimate little setting, okay? And stuff behind the glass. So, and I'm like dead on center looking right at it, and these big, like flashing red, all capital letters, it says on top. It's flashing and like exclamation points or whatever. Like, okay, boom, like, okay. I mean, I didn't hear anything, but it was just like, it was like, hello, you know, look at me, pay attention right here. It said on top. And there was a woman on a table and a man on top of her. She just looked like she was, maybe had like dark curly or wavy hair and just kind of lighter skin. And he looked like he had kind of lighter, more golden hair and like more tan skin. Just to give you details of the dream, I don't think it had any significance. It was just showing me that it was like Caucasian people, okay? And so he was a little bit at an angle, but basically just I could see straight from the back. So his back was facing me, so I could see his, you know, his rear end, and see that he was in between her legs, and she was laying back and kind of looked like she was asleep, sort of, you know, or drugged or whatever. She was just kind of laying there, her eyes were closed, and I couldn't really see her because she was laying back, like I said. But he was up just a little bit, but he was, okay, the missionary position, all right? And he turns, and this is all happening like really quickly. I'm in this classroom, I see the words, and I look up, and I see the words on top, okay? And then as soon as I'm able to read that, and I say, okay, on top, because God wants me to make sure that's registering. Then I look through the glass to see what's going on, and they're not like doing it. He's just, but it's obvious that he's like penetrating her through the missionary position, but I don't see like movement and stuff. It's just a flash of him looking back, and he just has the most evil look on his face, like, and remember, it said in all caps, in all red, on top. So I believe this is and it's not like anything new, but what it is an implant, okay? They want you to do it horizontally the way the serpent does it, and not vertically aligned, to anchor God's energy through your love making, because this is the love making of the gods, the way the gods do it. And if you look up any ancient god, his consort, that's the way they do it, okay? So this is a program, a templating to get you out of balance with your masculine and feminine energies that you have within your tuning fork to anchor God's energies, okay? So, if they can do that, then they can get you out of direct alignment with God, where the reflection of God is, where all the answers are, okay? Right in your center, your heart space, you're directly lined up with God. You're a perfect reflection of God, reflecting all of God's light, which is information, okay, truth, love, light, all that. Then you don't need a book. You don't need someone telling you this, that, no one can rule over you, right? But if they can get you out of alignment, get you polarized, and I'll show you later when we go more deeply into the symbology of the cross and stuff. I wanted to wait till I made more sense of what I already had, because I wanted to build on what I already, okay, so I had to wait till that all filtered in and made sense and lined up in your it's like your brain's doing all this neural pathway work, okay, and then it just, you can feel it creeping in, but you can't really make sense, and then you're going like, la, 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 and then it just kind of like, rolls out. So anyway, that is like, you can call it a reptilian, or because that's how they look at snakes. Okay, so and Erum and the relationship with Aaron, I'll get into that. Oh Lord, no, I don't want to say Lord anymore either, because that's, yeah. Anyway, lords and hordes, and anyway, so. That's a lie. Missionary position. Anything other than YabYum, you're not anchoring God's energy, and you're not having sacred sex and tantra, and that's what that's all about. You're just wasting. You're just giving all that energy, that creative energy, right to the serpent. And you're not connecting with God, and that's what you're supposed to be doing, or you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, so hence why you should be doing what God tells you, and then the other person that God's working with, they do what God tells them, and then he aligns you. Okay, that's the whole story of Rivka, Yetzirah, Isaac and Rebecca, where she was long-suffering. She did her due diligence of being long-suffering, proved to God that she was good, and he said, now go, child, and be free. Now you've done what you need to do. So, oh, whoa. I just saw something in my fan, the material print. I'll have to show that later when I have my phone available. Oh my goodness. Green goddess. Okay, the leaves are making a perfect, wow. I think I noticed that before, but I don't think I ever showed it in a video or took note of it. Yeah, we've been seeing faces and everything lately, just like you're on some psychedelics or something, I swear. It's got to be DMT and stuff, I don't know. Just doing its own thing, but, so that's that for that. We'll talk about when we go into the symbology of the cross, and that has a connection to the missionary position, okay, with your sexual energy and wasting it. But that has to do with Erum. I was telling my son, I was like, okay, I have one more time to tell you, that's going to be the last time, and you're going to have to go to your room. And right when I said your room, I said Erum instead. And I'm like, Erum? And then it came out one more time. I'm like, okay, whenever I do it 3 times and it's like some word I don't even know, I'm like, okay, Google. Yes, I Google. So I Googled, and Erum, E-R-U-M, is Hebrew for the serpent that was once upright, just like the Nakash, okay, but Erum is the Hebrew word that was once upright, now walks, okay, and that has to do with the symbology of the cross and the YabYum and all these things. So I'm going to get out my dry erase board, and I got to copy down what I have on there right now onto a piece of paper, and then I'll just do it in a video and erase and write it as we go, and yeah, then I can throw away all my scraps of paper too, because then I'll just have it archived on a video. Makes it easier for me. I don't like having scraps of paper and distraction stuff everywhere. But yeah, I do have a whole drawer full of anyway. But all the stuff that was I got to get that all out. I'll put it all in video. There's a lot of symbology and stuff too. So like I said, I'll go hopefully tonight. It's Monday, October 30th. So hopefully this evening I'll be able to get some of it out. Especially the one with the symbology of the cross and Erum, and how that's the serpent that was once upright now, and you can just Wikipedia, it's basic, okay, definition is that the serpent that once walked upright now slithers across, the face of the earth. So we're going to go into the symbology of the cross with that. And Erum, doesn't that sound like Aaron? And Aaron, the Levites, like Leviathan, and that area during, I think during the Phoenician times, was called Levian, Levian. And Levi is, Evi is Ian, all these words are associated with the same name. It's the sea creature, the beast that rises out of the sea. And anyway, we'll just leave that there. But yeah, levitate, Levites, Leviathan, all these things coming in that are making all these connections and with the Masons and all that. So, and Aaron was a Levite, was he not? And so Aaron, if you think of it, if you say it like Aaron, Erum, it sounds almost exactly the same. So Erum, that has to do with worshiping an image, and that the idolatry of worshiping an image, and that's what Aaron was all about. And Erum is, I believe, what Aaron originated from. So, okay, now we're like 32 right now. All right, I love you guys. Peace and blessings.